Tonight, we are speaking on the realities of being a single parent. Most women across the world are in a position where they are raising their children single handedly, maybe due to the death of a parent, just the emotional and financial unavailability of a father, or numerous other reasons that can exist. The reality is, it's not an easy position to be in. I'm speaking to Pastor Zanele Mmola, a mother of 3 who is in that position. It's something that I'm well too familiar with, having raised my own children for the longest of time on my own. And I can tell you this, it's not a child's play. It is, however, possible. And my guest tonight takes us on her journey. We chose this topic so that you can learn and so that we can educate. The teenage pregnancy rate in our country is skyrocketing. And there is a side that glamorizes motherhood. It's not just about the posh pram. It's not just about the posh baby shower. It is a lot of hard work. And perhaps it's time it be told the toll that it has on one. Pastor Zanele, thank you for opening up and taking us through your journey.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It's not easy mothering 3 kids.
No, it's not. It's not a child's play. Yes, many people try to make it glamorous, but it's actually not. It's not about the money. Even if you are working or you're financially stable, raising kids, it's not an easy task to do. It needs time. It needs emotional availability. Yes.
On a day-to-day, the ages of your kids and their care, the care of each individual child is different.
Yes.
How old are your kids?
My firstborn is 7 years. The other one is turning 3 years. And the other one is turning 1 year. So you can see the other one is in primary school. The other one is in creche. The other one is day-to-day care by their mother. So as you've said, different, I can say different tasks for different kids. You know, you have to prepare the other one to go to school, prepare the other one to go to creche, you have to pack some snacks, you have to buy diapers. This other one, you have to care for them every day. You have to hold them in your hands, you have to do laundry, do a lot of things. Yes.
You're not even at that point where you can say, one of my children are at least independent.
No.
Take me through your day. On a weekday, what time do you get up? What, happens in your household?
Yes. So my day-to-day, I have to wake up at least 5 a.m. I can say 5 a.m. if it's not school days, because I have to clean, make sure I finish cleaning before the baby gets up. Then also you have to make time for prayer. And mind you, a small child, you have to sleep according to the baby's time frame. At the same time, you have to make sure you have some space for hygiene, maybe to bath and do whatever you need to do. Also, you have to make some time to cook when the baby is asleep. So sleep deprivation, it's a day-to-day thing. Like it's not easy having a small baby and also even other kids. So you find that the second born is making noise. Now the baby has to wake up. Also, you have to make some time to do laundry for the kids. So fortunately, my mother takes care of my firstborn son, the one who's 7 years old. So sometimes she also cares for my secondborn. So sometimes I feel the relief. Yes, but on a day-to-day, even though they help with the kids, but this baby that I have on my hand, even if you have one child, it's not easy. It's not, because you have to work according to their sleeping pattern. Yes.
I'm curious now. the importance of harnessing a relationship between you and your children that is not toxic. The pain of our loss in relationships, for example. And as single parents, we are very much prone to that.
Yes, that's
Yes.
true.
And you find that how you parted with the
Father.
baby daddy, as they call them, it was not on such pleasant terms. How do you observe that in the relationship with the child?
Firstly, I think as a single mother, you have to heal. Because if you have not healed, you're going to take out the frustrations on the children. If you want to parent as a single parent and you have not healed from the separation with the baby daddy, whenever you look at that child, they're going to remind you of the baby daddy. So you're going to take out your frustrations on that child. So I think healing, it's very important. When you're a single parent, you just have to heal. If you can't do that, counseling sessions, read the Bible. For me, I make sure I study the Bible. I make sure I pray to make myself sober. Because it's really not easy. Because as I can say, in this generation, as you've said, we've encountered maybe toxic parents. Then you find out that someone was not treated well by their mother. They take out their frustrations on their child. So it's like a cycle. It's a pattern. You repeat it over and over. The generations experience the same thing. So even your kids are going to go through the very same thing that you went through. So for in case, let's say you had children out of wedlock because you were running away from a parent at home because that parent was not treating you well. You wanted happiness from outside. Even your kids, it will be the very same thing. They're going to look for happiness outside. They end up having kids outside. You don't have a relationship with them. You can't tell them that you must at least go to family planning. They call it contraception. You must do contraception. There's no mother to tell you that. So if you don't have a close relationship with your kids, if you don't heal before, you're going to have a problem with your kids. You're not going to sit them down and tell them about life, how to go about. You're not going to be able to talk to your daughter. You need to do family planning. If you can see that your daughter cannot abstain, you can't be able to talk to them that, Pella, you're a woman. Now you have seen your days, as they call them, your periods. You're going to fall pregnant. So I think we as single parents, we need to heal. You need to heal for the sake of your children and for your sake. Yes, that's very important.
And also for the sake of the father as well.
Yes.
Because what happens now in society is that most mothers, we experience this. We have fallouts with a relationship with the father. And for some time, the father is not present in the child's life. But years later, the child wants to know the father. Or the father is coming and saying, can I please have access to the child? I'd like to build a relationship with the child. I am in a position now to start rebuilding that relationship. We want to go back, or we want to stand in the way.
Yeah, that's very true. Especially if you've been hurt. You still hold that grudge. Oh, now he's coming back. He never did anything for the child. Now he's coming back. He wants to see the baby. You understand? You want to see the child that I did everything for this child. Now the father is coming back to reap. To reap the rewards. Yeah, it's not easy. That one, it's not easy at all. Even for me, it's not easy. Like considering that, okay, this person was not that much supportive. This person was holding a grudge, or this person never got that interest of supporting the child. Now he wants to be a part of this child's life. So we end up standing in the way between the child and the father. We forget that it is no longer about us. Actually, it's about the father and the child. We end up denying our children access to their fathers. And what does that breed? This child later in life is going to have that void that I never had a relationship with my father. You know, I don't even know how a father relates to their child, you know, and it's going to be a danger. Even when they have a child themselves, they're not
Yes.
going to be a good father to that child because they never even saw any example. You see, yes, I think that's one of the major things that we as single mothers have to fix.
And also, conditioning the relationship
Yes.
that it's about money. If he doesn't support or give me anything for the child, he must stay away from us.
Yes, yes, you know that one. It's very practical. So that's why if you have that problem, as for me, I'll advise if you have that problem, that if the father doesn't contribute, then I won't give them access to the child. Then go to maintenance court to solve that one, so that when the father wants to see the child, you allow him access. Yes. So for us who are Christians, sometimes it becomes a little bit tricky because now you have to take the child, stand at the corner, go to the guy's place to drop the child. You see, it's something else. So you are thinking, it's scandal. So maybe people will think this, or maybe so that one needs to be fixed. So I don't know, maybe you have a solution.
Well, I don't know. What I do know is, personally,
Yes.
being in a situation where my kids are, you know, privileged to be experiencing the love of a father for the first time, with my marriage. And I can see what the presence of a father figure does
Oh, yeah.
for a child. But because I can also, from experiences of other people, caution against, instances where the battles of the adults are brought on a child.
Ish.
Our society, man, we are facing serious problems. Papa who useless, Papa who useless.
Ish.
It's sad that this is being reported. But to this day, there are people that you will engage in a conversation with and they will tell you that I didn't go to school, or I didn't further my studies, or I didn't realize my dreams, whatever those dreams may be, because I became a mother. Is single mothering ever an excuse? Because some people have resigned from their lives. They have resigned.
Yes,
They took an early pension out of their lives.
For the sake of the kids. I think that's just an excuse. If you want to achieve something, you will make sure you achieve it. If you want to finish school, you still go back to school. It's either you just take a gap year or what. But you can't just say, I give up on school because I have a child. I give up on going to work. I've never heard anyone say they stopped going to work because they have a child. But when it comes to school, I left school because I had a child. Why is that? I think it's just an excuse. But sometimes you find that a person was really depressed.
I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
you find that the person was really depressed. Maybe the people whom she looked up to, they disappointed her. She thought, okay, my support system will be this one and this one. Then they just left her. I think that's the problem. But if you are experiencing such things, so why not take the child to the baby daddy?
Well, unfortunately, there are some. Not everyone is that fortunate. There are some instances where you find that truly the baby's father is not interested. Doesn't want anything to do with you. And I although this is not what we are necessarily engaging on today, but I've always spoken, profoundly about loving yourself.
Yes.
Loving yourself to the extent of knowing when something is harmful for you. There are instances where we as single mothers, we all want to see our children have relationships with their fathers. We all, even though things may not have worked out for us, I know for sure that it would have been something that I have loved. It's just that it's not the case for me. But given the opportunity for my children to have a good relationship with their fathers, it's something that I would have said, I applaud. As mothers, how do you balance the interests of your child against what they need. We all need fathers, but we all need presence.
As a mother, I'll just have to be both the father and the mother of the child. You just have to give more love, because once you push the child to the father or the baby daddy, the more they feel rejected, the more the self-esteem goes down. That's when you are going to have kids who are suicidal, kids who think less of themselves when they're with others. And even though it's a very painful experience, you see your child, they're with other kids, and these other kids, their fathers come by, they pick them up, there's nothing you can do except to give them more love. You can't force a child to go to a person that they're busy rejecting. Yes, because at the end you're going to have incidents whereby you find the father. We hear that fathers have killed their very own children. Fathers stabbed the wife or the mother and the kids. You understand? So you don't want to end up having that incident whereby the father kills their own child. So it's better you just take your child, and I don't think, if you, like, for instance, if the father rejects the child when they're still young, I don't think there's a need for you to
Keep pushing.
to introduce the father to the child, because it's going to hurt him, especially when he knows, oh, this is my father, but he's rejecting me. At least wait for a responsible age. When the child is maybe 16, 15, 16, that's when you can tell them so. But imagine telling a child at the age of 10 years that that's your father, and yet the father doesn't want to talk to the child, let alone touch the child. So it's going to damage that child very much. Yes.
It brings me to my next question, very important. Okay. How critical is affirmation of your child? As a mother, affirming your child in terms of shaping them. Because your words really can shape who your child becomes.
That's very true. I think a mother is a very powerful person. To me, I compare mother to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is very soft but yet powerful. His words, they mean a lot. Like each and every day, if you tell your child, you encourage that child, you might end up not seeing even the need of that father if the father is rejecting the child. You might not even see the need of the father in the child's life for that moment. For instance, there are many children who have been brought up by single parents, and they're very successful. They've been brought up by only a single mother, and they're very successful. So I think telling your kids that they are intelligent, you're beautiful, like some women up to now, they've never heard a word from their mother saying you're beautiful. Though they are beautiful, they never heard it from their mother.
And we see that the result becomes looking for beautiful affirmations from men.
From men. And that lady, you find this lady is extremely beautiful, but they don't have confidence. They need a man that can tell them, oh, you're beautiful. Then she's in. The next one explains, oh, you are extremely beautiful. She goes to that one. So I think affirming and telling your children, you are intelligent, you are beautiful, you can make it in life. You can, telling that child affirmative words can shape their life very much. So can make them a better person. Even though they can see that there's no father figure here, but they can still be a better person in life. You can even tell them that you can see there's no father figure here. You have to be a better father. When you grow up, you have to do something better with your life. That child will grow up to be someone responsible. That child will grow up being a confident woman or a confident man later in life. So I think women have this power that sometimes we neglect, or we use it the wrong way. Yeah, telling a child you are very stupid. Then that child grows up knowing that I'm stupid. When you're not that beautiful, you understand. That child, even though they're beautiful, they end up thinking that they're not attractive. Yes, so I think affirmative words are very important. And women should use that power. We are not physical powerful, but verbally we are extremely powerful. Yes.
In terms of building a friendship with your children, because many of our children are afraid of us. Hey, now I remember when I was growing up, one thing I knew about my mother was Bomma. I call my mother Bomma, and I know my mother, she takes no nonsense. And I knew that the discipline.
It's very harsh.
Yes.
So I think it's very good that we become friends with our children. But we know where to draw the boundary. Yes, we need to draw the boundary. Yes, we can be friends. You can tell me everything, you know. Sometimes we make mistakes because we never had a good relationship with our mothers. You are afraid to tell your mother, hey, Pela, there's this boy, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You're already afraid to even explain because you don't have that relationship with your mother. So you end up making many mistakes because you're afraid of your parent.
Yes.
So having a relationship with your parent or your parents, I think it's very crucial. It will avoid many mistakes, many gruesome mistakes.
And not just any relationship, where open communication is encouraged. Because a lot of things that our children know, they pick them up from friends in the street.
Or social media.
Yeah. Or social media.
Yes.
I remember when I had my own struggles with my first marriage. You know, I was battling. And, you know, my own parents had separated and they had went through a formal divorce. But my mother, you know, even my father never sat down with me and talked to me about, you know, this is what to expect. I remember my father was the one who encouraged me and said, this marriage is not safe for you. But in terms of expectations and the difficulties that I was, you know, going to experience in going forward, we don't have a line of communication. You know, we don't learn, we don't hear about first sexual experiences, what to expect. We don't hear about, you know, learn about our bodies changing. Especially for us, the black culture, we don't
that's very true.
promote certain conversations.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So we end up experiencing things firsthand rather than being told beforehand. I remember even myself when I was experiencing puberty, I was even afraid to tell my mother. I just cried. Like when I saw my periods for the first time, I just cried. My father came and said, what's your problem? I told him, even up to now, I can't believe that my father knew before my mother. So my father is the one who went and told my mother, hey, your girl, Kakwa, there's something happening. So you understand that we never had that open line communication with our parents. So most of the things we experience them firsthand, or we just hear friends, or sometimes at school, they just talk about 1, 2, 3. We just hear them generally. So there's no parent who will tell you firsthand that, okay, when you experience 1, 2, 3, you must know that it means 1, 2, 3. You must avoid boys because 1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
Understand? So they don't explain these things. So we end up
learning the hard way.
The hard way, yes.
Finding out when it's too late.
When it's already late. Yes.
It's a now thing. It's a culture now. They say they say that a girl child is a mother's best friend. And they say a boy child is a mother's only true love. Single parenting is not easy, but it can be done with the right support structure and the right approach when it comes to your personal care, not neglecting yourself as a mother, not forsaking your own dreams, and also not allowing the hurts of your relationship with the father to spill on to your relationship with your children. It's very important as single parents that we heal and that in the process we speak words of positive affirmation to our children, that we maintain a collegial and respectful relationship when it comes to the partners who have fathered our children. It's very important that we mind our wits. It's very crucial that we take time out for ourselves. It's even more important that we love ourselves enough to know when we are not in our best form. A mother who's tired is a mother who's not giving her best to her children. The good Lord bless you. May He restore and replenish strength within you, single mother, to carry on. May He keep you. May He cherish your heart, and may He restore joy in your spirit so that you find your strength in Him. It's a tough journey, I know, but you're not alone. As a community of single mothers out there, and those of us who are married still, we are here to hold your hand. It takes a village, and we are that village for you. God bless you. Let's meet again next week.
To get yourself a copy of our latest books, The Mending of a Broken Vessel and Maintaining Your Joy, a journal for daily positive living, visit a bookstore near you.